All right. Well, there you go. Now you're alive, I believe. Okay, so this is going to be. Let me take this off real quick. This is going to be notes for an event that I do through Inspired Performing Arts. Hopefully, I can have enough of them to where I can look back and learn from them, and then use them in my next event and grow from this. And then the goal also is to basically also upload these for real in front of an audience, in front of people on YouTube, for people to see the before and after when I'm 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road doing this, stuff like that. So this is the first video that I made, um, that I'm making right now for this. So to recap everything, a while ago, before 2020, around December 7th, actually, of 2019, was Jingle Jams. Jingle Jams is a thing that they do, the big holiday event that we do in downtown Sanford. Um, it's Christmassy. It's very fun. It's very, very big. They close all of downtown Sanford down. They have carnival games, carnival rides, a lot of rides, I believe. Food trucks, over like 20 food trucks. My God, it was a lot of food trucks. And they had different stages with different bands, and each band kind of sing their own song: country, pop, rock, mixed music, Spanish music. It didn't matter. But I didn't get that Christmas feel when I went there one time, and I just didn't. It didn't really. It was Christmas, yes. There were people dressed up in sweaters, and it was holiday-ish, like, but it wasn't fully Christmas Christmas. And I wanted to bring that into the atmosphere. And so what I did was I had this idea of basically bringing carolers, pop-up carolers, at the event, singing Christmas songs, and I didn't really care what type of Christmas songs. I even thought like gospel choir singing Christmas songs, and then a regular choir singing classic carol songs. And so I hit up my stepdad Daniel. Um, if you hear me call him Buddy, that's his name that we call him. So his name is Buddy to me, but his real name is Daniel. But I hit up Buddy, and I told him about the idea, and he contacted some of his guys because he owns a studio in downtown Stanford, and he hit some of his guys up, and they were like, "Go for it, do it. This is a great idea. We need this." And so I did. I hit up some high schools, my old high school, Summer High School. They weren't able to do it, so I went to the next high school, Lake Mary High School, even though they were my rival high school when I was in school. Um, and I went with them, and they had a gospel choir, and they had other choirs, and they were interested, and they wanted to do it, and they were available. So I was like, "Let's go." So time. It took time just to kind of wait for the day to go, but I had no idea what was in store for me. Even though I kind of thought everything was figured out, I thought this is a simple thing. They're gonna go around, we're gonna sing, we're gonna have carolers, they're gonna just sing their song, go to the next place, yada yada yada, and that was it. And then I was like, "Yeah, I can bring food in, and yeah, this and that." And then I realized this costs money. How the hell am I gonna do this? Um, so I basically had to sponsor, and so I basically had a buddy help me out with the flyers, and stuff like that. Basically, having this business to sponsor, um, us, they would be the sponsor on the back of a T-shirt. So we would have the logo of the Inspire Club Carolers, and it would have a whole thing on it, and then on the back would be the business, um, of the on the T-shirt. And so what happened was we raised enough money to buy the food, and also to buy the T-shirts, and boom, bada bing, it was done. So it took time though, and that was the scary part because I was like, I got to do this somehow, some way. Otherwise, it's coming out of my pocket. So the actual event that happened, if we're gonna break it down, let's actually break it down. That way, we know exactly what happened. So when I forget next week, or when I forget in the further in the day, we know why. So it was already a stressful day when I woke up because I wanted to go and early in the morning, go see how they're setting up, see what I can go do. I wanted to plan, and there's nothing I could have done to plan. So I was so nervous and so like anxious because I mean, all the businesses know my name now. They've seen the image of the Inspire logo, and this is like my first official event, even though I've done other things beforehand. But I was just so scared, so nervous, and so I had two lovely supporters, along with my family, but my best friend Marie and my girlfriend Sierra, and they both helped me out, in ways that I was just so grateful for. Now I had to pick them up and get ready to go get this event ready, and it was just so much stress because I had to go pick up a certain amount of thing. I had to go pick up some stuff, had to get things ready, had to put out the t-shirts, pick up the t-shirts and stuff like that. I had to go get the big giant check that we wanted to print. And I was in Sam's and I had the call time at 4 o'clock and I was still at Sam's and I just got there at 4. And my photographer came early, so I had to talk to her and I wasn't there to talk to her, so it was kind of awkward and not professional. And it scared the crap out of me because I'm like, early is on time is late, and late is just terrible. You don't want to be late. So it was really bad for me because I was really nervous. But Marie and Sierra were kind of like just following me around. Whenever they were able to help, they were able to help, but really they couldn't do much because I didn't plan that well. And even if I did plan that well, there was so many hiccups and fires that were happening that I couldn't. I had to pull them. I had to put them out myself. There was nothing we could have done to avoid all of it. So I could have just planned better. But with that being said, I was already so stressed just trying to get here. By the time I got there were already people showing up, and I was like, "Oh God!" So I was like, "We need to put music on because it's dead in here. We need to make sure the T-shirts are out." And I was trying to tell everybody their jobs and what they were trying to do. So I had to talk to the photographer, which took some time to talk to because I wanted to tell her to take pictures of a certain angle to get the audience in, to get them singing. I want some videos, yada yada yada. And what's great about Tessie, that's who my photographer was at the time. She was like, "I got it. Yep, I got it. Let's get it done." And I was like, "Yes, I love that. That's perfect." If she had any questions, she asked them, and that was it. And we get figured it out from there. And then I had to go address Marie and Sierra on what they were going to be doing and how I needed them on food. I needed them to make sure when the food gets here, which was pizza, that they get prepared, the plates, the drinks, and stuff like that, all the types of sodas and drinks and waters that they needed. I needed them to be there for that. So I had to explain their job to them, along with talking to each kid that was like wondering what was going on, talking to the teacher, the director, whoever you want to say, or however you want to call it. Yeah, I had to talk to a lot of people, and I was running around, and I was just so nervous. And then there was some dead time too because I had scheduled the call time an hour, 30 minutes. 30 minutes would be the warm up. That way, they had a lot of time to warm up, just in case they were scared or nervous. And then the hour was them just to get here because I knew teenagers or like their car broke down. Parents didn't want to drive them anymore. They forgot. They woke up. So many possibilities. So I gave them the hour, and yet still there was so many issues and hiccups still. By the time we started warm ups, I already had my photographer taking pictures of them talking, chit chatting, and stuff like that. And I just realized though, as they were getting their T-shirts, there were things that I didn't even think of, which was one of them was the do rags. Someone had do rags on, which I didn't want because it's just not what I'm trying to say. I didn't want that because I envisioned them just the green shirt, wearing pants, and that was it. Like just a simple outfit. But the do rags, there was a lot of them. So, and I didn't like that because it was not what I wanted. And another thing too was some of the ladies and some of the gentlemen were wearing jackets covering the shirts, covering the businesses logos, and also the logo in front, the Inspire Club logo. And I was kind of upset because I was like, "What the hell? All this money was just wasted for you. Like, we didn't just waste this money for you to like just cover it up. We spent all this money. Like, you gotta be kidding me." So that wasn't clear. They were just kind of just covering it up. And then some of them had their phones out while they were supposed to be warming up. Some of them were sitting down, crossing their arms, full like this, literally, like as if they didn't want to be here. And I'm like, if you don't want to be here, then don't be here. But the problem was, which is my main lesson for today, is communication. Communication was key because that took a big toll on everything. But before we get into that, I'm just talking about the event. By the time they were all warming up, they didn't even know what songs they wanted to sing. It. They had 3 songs they wanted to sing, and they didn't practice the third one yet, and they still had the other 2 to practice, and they were 7 minutes long. I didn't know that. I kind of figured they had it figured out of what songs they wanted to sing, and I didn't even bother to check. And then looking back at this now, I thought it was stupid of me not to check. I'd say, "Hey, what songs do you guys sing? Can I hear them?" Didn't do that. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't get stopped in the head and be like, "Boy, get your act together." But but I just didn't bother to see what songs they were singing. So yeah, but They took forever to warm up. It was 7 minutes, and then 7 minutes repeated again for the same song because they were messing up on certain parts, and then the second song they wanted to sing, and that was very slow and long, and some of them were not even singing, so it was very sad, and I was like, "Oh my god, is this what it's gonna sound like?" But then some were clicked when they started getting an audience on the outside, when people started seeing them outside. We have a big giant window in the studio, and so everyone saw these people wearing the same shirts with some hats on, Christmas hats, and some people singing, and they were like, "Whoa!" And then they got loud, and then they got louder, and then they finally had a voice that was amazing, and they were singing, and it made me have hope, and I was so excited. I'm like, yes, this is where it is. And I'm like, get the pictures, take a picture. And so Tessie was taking the pictures. Everyone was just like, whoa, and astonished. And we had that one soloist. He was amazing. His voice was so loud and powerful and was just moving. And I was like, we got a show. And so finally, we took out pictures outside. We got the big giant check printed finally, which scared the hell out of me because I was like, "Oh shit, we need to get that done." But we had that situated with $100 check, even though it was all big. We are just being funny, and having extra a good, it's good times. So I still had to figure out where am I going to be located at. I got to find spots, and so I went to certain locations. And then come to find out, our first spot, it was well. Some of them had their arms folded, some of them were not smiling, and I heard that a lot in the community theaters. Smile. They're like, smile, smile. I'm like, I want to be like, smile. Like, I wanted to like just permanently put tape on their face and be like, smile. And it really got me upset because no one was smiling. Some of them were, but not all of them were. And the ones who weren't stood out the most. And that's like, and it was frustrating. And then had one of the kids have a flag and come in his face because the flag was waving. It was like some like flag from an app. It was like had an app on it. It was like trivial or whatever trivia. I don't even know the name. Some green flag, and it was waving in his face, and he kept waving in his face. I'm like, just move out the way of the flag. Just move in front. That way the flag doesn't hit you in the back of your face. But hey, he didn't do it, so I had to move it for him while the people were watching him sing. So it was kind of like, ooh, God. But overall, the performance was great. A lot of people saw it and they were taking video. They were loving it. And then we moved to the next spot. That got same thing. They were singing their other song. And then, mind you, though, these are still 7 minutes long. So 14 minutes of singing already, and it's only been like not even we're not even halfway there yet of what I wanted to do because I wanted to go to 6 different spots. 6. I wanted to go to 6 spots, and I couldn't have them sing 7 minutes on each spot because one, their voice is gonna hurt because every song they were singing went up the octave and higher up the octave, and it was just too much. And I know because I've been in gospel choir, I've been in theater, I've sung songs that went crazy up the like high up the octave, and doing that several times can hurt your voice, especially if you're not a professional singer, if you don't know how to use your voice properly. And that's just something that I just didn't want to take a chance and hurt their voice because then we're really not gonna have a good time. And that's my main thing. So we instead of doing 6, we only did 3 spots, and then the third spot we cut the song like half, like not even half. It took like 2 minutes of it, and that's what I really wanted to do was 2 minutes, like 2 minutes here, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes here, and that was it. But it was good. They did it. They did sing the third song. They were tired. They did have attitude a little bit, and I was like, "Oh gosh!" And me trying to get a hold of them was a problem because they didn't know me as the guy to get a hold of, or who was in charge of this moment, who was making this happen. So it was a struggle to get a hold of their attention, and then finally giving them the news saying, "Hey, we need to sing this one more song over because we're not going to do the third song because you guys didn't practice it because you didn't have time, or because also you didn't know it." I don't want to have a practice round in front of a big audience because on the third time we did it, we had a lot of people because we were in the middle of the street and the stage that the band that was just singing was done and there was no more music, and so we were the music left, and everyone was circling around us, and it was like a big moment. And I was like, "This is your big stage right here. This is your audience." All the others were like warm ups. This is it, especially with certain people too, in front of big businesses. I was like, "Hey, perform, and we're gonna do this one song that was really good that I know you guys can do. We're gonna just slow it down, so we're gonna shorten it." And they were like, "Oh, ooh, my gosh!" And so it was very like moments. Like you're like, "You serious right now?" But after that, they went to go get food, and then the next choir came in. They had problems too. I didn't even bother hearing their music, and then there was problems they had messed up on and stuff like that. There was things that I was like, "Oh, if I would have known that you didn't know this or you were struggling, I would have said no. Let's do a different song." But I didn't do that, so that was the problem that I had to kind of bite my own tongue and be like, "Yeah, this is your fault. You can't, Miguel. If you would have done this beforehand, you would have known exactly what to do, and we wouldn't be in this mess. But it was done. The people had a great time. The people of Stanford had a great time. They enjoyed it, and hopefully the kids had a great experience out of it. And it did give me a great experience as well because overall I enjoyed it. But looking back at it, my main thing was communication because I had so many problems with communicating with certain people and certain things. And so one of them was with Sierra and Marie communicating on what their jobs were. They didn't like their job because they didn't realize how tedious it was going to be and how they didn't get much fun out of it. They wanted to actually be there to see the performance and enjoy the good time. And to be honest, though, that wasn't going to happen anyway because I wasn't enjoying the performance. I was looking for the next spot. I was making sure the pictures were getting taken. I made sure the music was going down. I was kind of running around everywhere, and I really wasn't like, let me look at this performance. I heard clips of it. I watched certain parts of it, yes, but did I like sit down and watch the performance like a normal like an audience? No, I did not. So that was a thing that I kind of had to burst their bubble about, but they didn't know about that until literally the time of. So that was a big issue. So I had to talk to them about that. So whenever I have volunteers or whenever you have helpers, um, communicate on what their job is and what's going to be happening um, while they're performing their job, what they're going to be missing out, and if they are okay with missing out on a performance or without being shown face and stuff. Excuse me, with and stuff like that. So that was a big issue, but now that's covered. Because so another thing was communication on behalf of the teacher. I should have talked to the teacher and met with them ahead of time and constantly kept meeting with them. That way they were familiar with my face because some of the students did not know who I was and did not know that I was the guy in charge of this whole thing for the caroling. And I know it was just like because I'm a teenager. I was 18 at the time. I don't know why. I was 19. I was 19. And I'm like, I just graduated literally the last summer, and so I really wasn't that far from them because they were just seniors and sophomores and juniors, and that they're like, you look just like us. Why are we listening to you? So I needed to make sure that they know that I am the guy that they need to listen to when it came time for like rounding them up to tell them where to go, to tell them what we're going to be doing next, and stuff like that. So I should have talked to the teacher and kind of established that a certainty of like, hey, I am the boss at this. Not to say I'm going to be demanding of you, but more of like, I am the guy who you need to listen to. So that needs to be addressed. And not only that, too, payment. What problem was too was after that, the carolers afterwards. Looking at the chat, please try again. After that was a thing was they wanted to get donations, and I was like, no, because guess what? You're gonna get $100 from me because that's literally the proceeds left of what the money I just made for you guys. And then not only that, like this is on somebody else's business. This is a whole thing that that they're allowing us to do, and you're making money off of them, and they didn't get any money out of this. Like no. So it wasn't clear to them though because they still did it anyway, and that made me very furious because I was like, "You serious? Why are you donating? Why are you asking for donations when I told you not to? And you're getting $100 check. We just took a big picture in front of a big giant check and everything like that. I think $100 would be very fair to you for free, even though you did sing and stuff like that. I didn't promise you money when you said yes to this, and so I'm offering money, free food, and free T-shirts." And more experiences and something to do with your choirs that weren't doing anything at the time. So I felt really gypped, like as if I was getting taken advantage of, and that really pissed me off a lot because I thought I was very clear and I wasn't. So that's something whenever I discuss next time with an event that if there are no times for donations, there are no donations. And it needs to be very clear because then if something like that happens again, I'm cutting off ties with whoever that person was or whatever that group was because you want to not listen. I'm offering you the chance to do a performance in front of this group. I literally was planning day and night, finding ways to make this happen, and then this is how you like go about this. Like it really pissed me off. So that's something I need to discuss with anybody who I'm working with is with money and donations and stuff like that. If they're getting money back from me anyway. So communication on that behalf, meeting the group ahead of time, discussing what songs they're going to be doing, hearing their plan, what they want to do, and hearing what I'm going to be, what they're going to be doing, like what I have going for them, and also donations. And another thing about communication too, which is communicating um, with with communicating with the businesses and understanding what was going on, because some of them didn't know if they were gonna get a caroler in the front of their shop or whatever. And so my main thing, that one can be fixed easily, but the other ones mainly was about communication through the partnerships, and through the performers and the directors and stuff like that, and people who were helping me out. Um, yeah, and so dress code was another thing too. I wanted the dress code to. I didn't think there would be a dress code, but now there needs to be. Jeans. I don't really care if they're ripped or not. That's not a big deal. But don't wear a do rag. Don't cover up the shirt that's been given to you to support businesses and stuff like that. And don't text. Don't have an attitude. You're here to sing. You please sing. Stuff like that. You bring in free food. So I need that very clear next time. And another thing is too, just planning, trying to have a head start if I could. I'm planning things out. Like that check should have been printed a while ago, but I learned the hard way, literally 2 hours before the event, that Sam's does not print. So I had to go to FedEx and get that printed, which cost more money out of the money that we made for the sponsoring. So yeah, that was a very stressful moment. So try to prepare and get everything get a head start on what you can. That way, when the fire happens, when a fire starts up, or when shit hits the fan and you got to figure something out, I can focus on that and not have to worry about all the other little things that were taking place as well. That's been taken care of. Focus on the fire and focus on what's going on right now at that moment. So, with that being said, that's basically about it. It was a good time though. It was a learning event. Um, Hopefully this can be posted publicly, that way people can see it and use this to their advantage and hear what I have to say. And hopefully you can see the before and after where I'm at 10, 20 years down the road doing this. So it won't always be in my room, but sometimes it will be sometimes. But we'll see where it goes from there. It's 2020. It's a new year. I have ideas, and it takes time and patience. Thank you guys. Good night.